How is proportionality defined in IHL war crimes? In the realm of International Humanitarian Law, or IHL, proportionality plays a key role in how armed conflicts are conducted. This principle is all about protecting civilians and their property during warfare. It requires that any military attack must not cause civilian harm that is excessive compared to the military advantage expected from that attack. Essentially, even if a target is legitimate, the potential harm to civilians must be carefully weighed against the military gain. This principle is not just a guideline. It is a rule that commanders and military planners must follow. They have a responsibility to assess whether the expected military benefit justifies any potential civilian casualties or damage. If they fail to do this, they could be held criminally responsible for war crimes. Proportionality is codified in Article 51(5)(b) of Additional Protocol I to the Geneva Conventions. This article clearly states that attacks expected to result in excessive civilian harm relative to the military advantage are prohibited. This principle is also recognized as customary international law, meaning it applies to all nations, regardless of whether they have signed specific treaties. Applying proportionality in real situations can be quite challenging. Commanders must conduct a balancing test, weighing the anticipated military gain against the expected civilian harm. Some incidental civilian damage may be acceptable if it is not excessive. However, attacks that are deemed disproportionate are illegal under IHL. The principle of proportionality works hand in hand with other essential IHL principles, such as distinction and precaution. Distinction requires parties in conflict to differentiate between combatants and civilians, while precaution involves taking measures to minimize civilian harm. Together, these principles aim to limit unnecessary suffering and protect civilian populations during armed conflicts. In summary, proportionality in IHL war crimes is about ensuring that any civilian damage from an attack is not excessive compared to the military gain. This principle forms a vital part of the framework that governs lawful conduct in warfare and seeks to safeguard civilians. Understanding this concept is essential for enforcing accountability and addressing breaches of international humanitarian law.